want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray. I'll do this one. Well, I want to hear somebody pray, and I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear this awesome choir sing. Y'all pray. I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray.
Now you know the words.
Well, I want to hear somebody sing. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody.
Let's all do it
pray.
together.
I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray. Just our voices, just your voices now. I want to hear somebody pray.
I can't hear you.
I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. I want to hear somebody pray. Down in the valley and over yonder, I want to hear somebody pray. Somebody pray. Somebody pray. Somebody pray. Somebody pray. Somebody pray.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. So glad you could come tonight to Charlie Schaefer's bar mitzvah. All right. Also, what a spectacular Shabbat we are having in this magnificent sanctuary built with so much love and with so much determination. Over the years, we've had lots of music, and music has been such a foundational element of how we connect as a community, how we understand our relationship to holiness, to the sacred, to God, to our tradition. And in all of these different ways, we express that. A sense of gratitude, a sense of joy, a sense of sorrow. Music is an essential component to who and what we are as, not just as Jews, but as human beings. It is absolutely at the core, Now, some of us listen to music more regularly than others, but each of us in our own time and place feel the music. And I have to say that Nefesh Mountain, our guests here tonight, they've been here before. In fact, they were with us during COVID. You might remember they were on the screen. They were part of our virtual first High Holy Days under lockdown, and they brought us such nachas, such joy. And now here they are in person, and we're so glad that you are here. And not only are they here because, our congregation has a history of wanting to bring in fabulous music, but also to honor the career and the offerings of our extraordinary cantorial soloist, leader, mom, troop leader, director. Come up with all your nouns. She's all those things and more, Susan Glickman. And when Susan decided that she was going to be retiring in 2023, we said, so, what music would you like? I mean, I don't know if we can get Taylor Swift, but we can, because I think she was busy, as it turns out. But there were other ways to acknowledge the era that Susan presided over. And she said, really without hesitation, she said, you know who really will be perfect? Nefesh Mountain. And so your gorgeous effulgence of music and light just captivates all of us. And we could not think of a better way to celebrate Susan in music along with this musical congregation than to have you with us. So we are absolutely thrilled. I mentioned Charlie Schaefer. Where's Charlie? I'm here. Charlie, since being in pre-K, was always the quiet kid. So I'm going to invite Charlie, if you'd please meet me at that table where the candles are, along with your parents and your sister. And as you're gathering down there, there'll be certain points when I'm going to be telling you what page we're on, and I'm going to be giving you about 2 sets of pages. If your book looks this way, sort of lost weight recently, looking in like really good shape, then that's the smaller number. If your book is sort of large and slightly sagging and falling apart, then that would be the larger number. And rather than explaining it beyond that, let's just say I'm going to call out 2 page numbers. You'll find it in one book or the other. At least that's my hope. And so what we'd like to do, as we always do, is on the eve of a bar mitzvah that we celebrate, and particularly this bar mitzvah, where, as I said, Charlie was not a small presence growing up in our early learning center. We always like to ask parents to have this opportunity to bless their child on the eve of their bar or bat mitzvah. And so, you're on.
Dear God, we thank you on this Shabbat before Charlie's bar mitzvah. We come to you with full hearts and gratitude for this moment. We thank you for our temple where we pray with love and hope. We thank you for your loving presence that shines on our family and friends with the loving light of Torah. We thank you for the most precious gift, our children. Our gratitude cannot be measured. Grant Charlie good health and long life. Grant him a life of meaning and sustenance. Give Charlie the strength to shoulder the burdens he will undoubtedly encounter along the way. Give him the tools to learn and grow to become a wise Jewish man. Help Charlie to be brave in the face of danger, gentle in moments of tenderness, strong in the face of conflict. And give us on this Shabbat the blessing of rest and gladness. May all of us celebrate wonderful moments in our lives, moments of passionate learning, meaningful encounters, and goodness.
Amen.
Candle lighting. Everybody could join me.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We thank you, God, for the blessing of these candles, a reminder of your light that shines in every place at once. We continue on page 20, page 138, welcoming the Shabbat bride, Lechadodi.
We are so honored to be here tonight and share this special Shabbat with all of you. Thank you for inviting us. Rabbi and Cantor, Susan, thank you, and all of you. We're gonna share with you our poetic take on Lechadodi, our bluegrass poetic take, kind of. But it's gonna begin and end with a version of Lechadodi that you know. So please join us on the beginning and the end. And in the middle, there's going to be Yididais. So will you Yididai and sing along? Ready? Lechadodi likrat kala Pnei Shabbat nekabela Shabbat
Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. Welcome the Sabbath as day turns to night. Let's sing out these words underneath the setting sun, to always remember that Adonai is one. To always remember that Adonai is one. Yadon dai 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 dai, yadon dai dai dai, yadon dai 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 dai, yadon dai dai dai, yadon dai 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 dai, yadon dai dai dai, yadon dai 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 dai, yadon dai dai dai. Come, my beloved, to greet the bride. Welcome the Sabbath as day turns to night. Awaken, awaken, rise up and shine. Enter in peace, my sweet Sabbath bride. Oh, enter in peace, my sweet Sabbath bride. Yada-da, 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 the bride. Welcome to Sabbath as day turns to night. Boikala, come inside, come inside. Boikala, let us rise, let us rise. Boikala, let us rise, let us rise. Yadadai, 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 Shabbat
Please remain standing. We are on page 28, 146.
Baruchu
Et Adonai,
Et Adonai,
HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai,
Baruch Adonai,
HaMevorach,
HaMevorach,
Leolam, Vaed.
Baruch et Adonai, HaMevorach, Baruch et Adonai, HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaTorah, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaTorah, Leolam Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Folks, if you please be seated.
We're going to share with you a little medley about finding our way home and feeling lost sometimes. And I feel like on Shabbat, we kind of come home. And I know that for many of you, this is home. And sometimes I think I forget, we all forget maybe, that the world, like there's so much beauty around us that we can feel that sense of home sometimes from the mountains, from the trees, from this beautiful world that we live in. And I feel like this song always reminds us of that. And this is our version of Esa Enai. Please sing along. And let the strings of tonight and the banjos and all these instruments just like go into your hearts and just go with it and try to enjoy this very different Shabbat with us in a soulfully kind of way. Esa Enai. I'm a poor wayfaring stranger traveling through this world of woe. There'll be no sickness, toil or danger in this bright world to which I go. There'll be dark clouds all gather round me. I know my way is cold and steep, but beauteous fields all around me, and my faith is mine to keep. I'm going home to see my mother. I'm going home, no more to roam. I'm just crossing over Jordan. I'm going back. I'm going home. I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains.
Where does my help?
Where does my help? Where does my help come from? Oh, Esa Enai El Harim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Oh, Esa Enai El Harim Me'ayin Yavo Ezri. Esa Enai, Esa Enai,
Esa Enai,
Esa Enai,
Esa Enai.
Esa Enai. Sing it with us. I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains. I lift my eyes to the mountains.
Where does my help?
Where does my help? Where does my help from?
on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. 36, 154. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha, uv'kumecha, ukshartam leot ayadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 40, page 158. I do believe it says, where, oh, where? Leading into Micha Mocha. Could that be? I'm just trying to keep up. It's all right. It's all good.
You said page
Me too.
148, and I said, I didn't know that was in the prayer book.
It should be.
We're going to share with you a song that we wrote as a way to comfort ourselves in a very crazy world that doesn't make sense at all sometimes. Eric and I were talking, and we started saying, like, after watching the news and everything that's been happening these last few years, it's like, where did the love go in the world? Where is the kindness? Where's the innocence? And so we wrote a song about that, inspired by the Torah, inspired by nature. And it's one of Susan's favorites, so we're going to do it for tonight. It's dedicated to you. And we would love you to sing along with us on the nigun part. And we sung this song at the Grand Ole Opry, at our debut at the Grand Ole Opry, and we asked them at the Opry to sing the nigun at this huge theater in Nashville, and they did. So will you sing the nigun with us?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, so here's how Eric's going to teach everybody this nigun. It goes like this.
All right, repeat after me. Yai di 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 dum di di dum di dum di.
Okay, don't freak out. Okay, ready? We got this. Yai di di dum di dum di dum di.
Da di di dum di dum di dum di.
Yai di dum di dum di dum di. Perfect. Where are the sweetest songs of Miriam and her daughters? was sung beside the seas and tides, so still must reside in the forest, still in the forest. Where, oh, where is the wisdom sought by the many before us? She was there inside the tree of life, so still must reside in the forest, still in the forest. Di-di-di-di-di-dum-di, di-dum-di, di-do-dum-di, di-di-di-di-di-dum-di, di-dum-di, di-do-dum-di. Where, oh, where is the innocence from our first days in Eden? They used to rest their heads on the flower beds, so still must be there in the gardens, still in the gardens. Di-di-di-di-di-dum-di, di-dum-di, di-do-dum-di, di-di-di-di-di-dum-di, di-dum-di, di-do-dum-di, di-di-di-dum-di. Where, oh, where's our forgiveness from the age of the flood so long ago? Under all the rain the earth remained, so it's still in the fields and the meadows, in the fields and the meadows. Where, oh, where's our compassion? Is it somewhere we can discover? It's never too far, it's right where you are. It's always been in the arms of each other.
Now 4158.
The sweetest sound you'll ever hear. Temple Beth Avodah Youth Choir.
Moses, don't you let King Pharaoh overtake you. Moses, don't you let King Pharaoh overtake you in some lonesome grave. Chariots coming, oh mother, mother,
בקודש, מי כמוך באדוני. מי כמוך אתה בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה ולב. נורא תהילות, עושה ולב. Come on, let's all do it together. מי כמוך באדוני. מי כמוך אתה בקודש, מי כמוך באדוני. מי כמוך אתה בקודש, נורא תהילות, עושה ולב. נורא תהילות, עושה ולב. Okay, I want everybody to listen to my husband and what he plays on the guitar. Everybody turn around, listen to watch Aaron. Ready? Listen carefully. That's it, come on. Okay, friends, you can sit. You guys are going to stay up here, I think? Yeah. Okay, they're going to stay up here. Okay, whew. This is like Shabbat workout.
Yeah.
Okay, we can all have lots of challah and go crazy on the oneg. Okay, so this next song, it's a very personal song. I think I shared it with Susan right when very shortly after I wrote this song. I've known you for a very long time, and I love you. This song is like a silent prayer. It's my personal silent prayer. And I don't know if anyone's ever been, has anyone ever had a hard time in their life? Anybody had a rough time? Okay, so we're all right, here we go. So I was going through a very difficult time, like I had a rough, things get hard. I was going through a rough time, and I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't sleep with the spinning brain. Has anyone ever been up kind of late thinking about stuff and getting really, has anyone ever been the spinning 3 a.m. brain? Okay. So I was up at 3 in the morning, not feeling so great, feeling a little like I had been abandoned and forgotten by God or the world. It just felt like things were not working out for me at all. And in that moment, I walked outside. It was crazy because it was very dark, and the moon was right there, and I looked up at the moon, and I kind of made up a prayer to the moon to try to help me, give me a little bit of hope, because I didn't have a lot of hope in that moment. And so I made up a prayer, and I want to share it with you. Is that okay? Okay. So this is my 3 a.m. prayer. And if you told me I'd be sharing it with anybody or that it would be an actual thing, I would say you were crazy, because it was such not a good moment, I thought, but turns out it was. And this is how the song goes. It just goes like this. My 3 a.m. song goes like this. Adonai, love me, Adonai. Love me, Adonai. Love me, please love me, Adonai. That's it. And I've been singing this song for years and years since, on good days, on bad days, and I just want to ask if we can do this together. So if there's anybody who has one word that they would want to put into this song, into this prayer, Adonai something me. And you don't have to sing it. You can just say the word and we'll sing it. I'll sing it. Can anybody think of one word they would want to put? And if you say a word, it might help someone else. It might help someone else if you say it. Can someone think of one word? You can't do it wrong. Anybody have a word? There we go. What's your word? Stay with. Adonai. Stay with me, Adonai. Stay with me, Adonai. Stay with me, please. Stay with me, Adonai. Anybody else have a word? You can't do it wrong. What's your word?
Relax.
Relax. Oh my gosh. Adonai. Good one. Relax me. Everyone should be singing this one. Come on. Relax me, Adonai. Relax me. Please relax me, Adonai. Anybody else have one? What's yours? Comfort. Adonai, comfort me, Adonai. Comfort me, Adonai. Comfort me, please comfort me, Adonai. Anybody else have one they really need to share? One more. Help. Adonai, help me, Adonai. Help me, Adonai. Help me, please help me, Adonai. I'm going to ask Susan to come up for a second. Please take that. And we're going to have you come here, and we're all going to put our arms on Susan. I'm just making this up right now. Let's all put our arms on Susan. Can we all hold Susan? And can we sing, because we all love her so much and we're so grateful. Let's sing, Adonai, bless her. Can we do it? Let's do it. Adonai, bless her, Adonai. Bless her, Adonai. Bless her, please bless her, Adonai. Stay up here with me. Let's do one more, as a group of the mishpacha that we are tonight. Adonai, something us. What should it be? Oh, does somebody have what's yours?
Courage.
Let's do one before that one. We're going to do encourage. Adonai, encourage us. Ready? You want to come sing it with me? Adonai, encourage us. Adonai, encourage us. Adonai,
Encourage us. Please encourage us, Adonai.
Let's do one as a group. What should it be? One more. What should we sing for for all of us together.
Care for us.
Care for us. Can we all please rise, and can we put our arms around each other? We're going to sing Adonai, care for us. You want to lead it? You want to lead it with me? Okay, come here. Adonai, care for us. Adonai, care for us. Adonai, care for us. Please care for us, Adonai.
Folks, you can have a seat. Page 42, 160. One of the things we learn just in watching what happened 2 seconds ago is the realization that really God asks us to bless, but God doesn't actually do the blessing. We are the tools of blessing. We are the ones that hear the call and respond through the way that we care, through the way that we look and sing, the way that we hug, the way that we are present for each other. That's the tachlis of blessing. And again, that's to sit, maybe you've never heard bluegrass music before and you're kind of confused. Like, where does this music come from anyway? And how did they stick Hebrew to all that? And I don't think Bill Monroe was Jewish. There's a lot of questions you have. But the truth is, when the presence of live music, and when that music is being generated directly from the heart, where it comes from, what its origin might be, whether you ever had in your entire life bought one CD, LP, 45, or otherwise cassette tape, and heard bluegrass before, it doesn't matter because the music that's generated is real. And for us, for we who listen, who have the ability, and if our ears aren't good to pick up the vibration, if we are deaf, we can still pick up the vibration from the instruments. We are being blessed by the music, and it is transforming our ability to open up our hearts even more. So you thought your heart was open when you came in here this evening at 6:15, and now your hearts are even more open. And you weren't even singing the song below with Donnie and with Susan. But you are now more open before you came in to the possibility of blessing. And so now that we know that, we also know that we have the possibility to bless others by, like they do, offering up whatever our equivalent is. Our offering to bring something to someone, are actually stopping to let someone in front of us when we're driving. The idea that we can get something for someone who didn't even ask. And they go, I didn't even ask for that. And you say, I just wanted to get it for you. Those are the small blessings that make a profound difference. And we're called upon, once we're blessed, to pay it forward, to continue to bless others in the world. People that we know, friends, relatives, people we've known all our lives, people we don't even know. Sometimes the best blessing is one that we offer to someone we've never met before, because it's a true offering of the heart. And when God sees us do that, God knows that we have heard the command to bless. Misha Berach 253, 371. It's a blessing that we've done for many, many years, and it's a reminder that we are present for people who are not feeling whole, who are riven by sickness, by anxiety, by pain. And so we say what we can do is think of you and do for you. And so before we sing together, it is our custom to invite you to say out loud the names of the people you're thinking about, both here in the sanctuary and all of you who are with us tonight streaming. We see your photons. I hope you see ours. And I'd like to offer at this time the opportunity for you now to say out loud the names of those who you are praying for blessing, for healing now. Well, you know, when you have a band like Nefesh Mountain visiting your temple, it's a big deal. And I don't know how you feel, but I think since COVID, we haven't really had this kind of gathering with a funky band on the bima and a Shabbos crowd in the congregation, and it feels fantastically wonderful. And, you know, it's one thing to say it feels reminiscent, because, you know, we don't look back that way anymore. We look forward. So what I want to say is it is such an incredible thrill as we roll forward, sort of groping in the dark, like we've got good things happening. We've got a great, strong community. And given that we have this remarkable band who's joining us, figured let's give them some room to stretch out a little bit. Let's hear a few tunes. So without further ado, Nefesh Mountain, have at it.
All right, we're going to stretch out a little bit. This first song we're going to share with you was inspired by my mother. She gave my husband Eric a keychain a number of years ago, a very heavy keychain, and said to him, please carry this wherever you go, because we tour all the time and my mother gets worried. So on this keychain was the Tefillat Haderech, which is the traveler's prayer. And Eric and I decided that we loved, this idea of just asking the universe before we go on all of our travels, but also just adventures. And I would, you're on to another adventure. It's like this is another moment where you ask the universe to help you find the love inside to fuel you into your next chapter. So
It was a heavy keychain too. It was a lot easier to bring this song along on the road than it was heavy, man. But how about it? Let's go on a little journey. Shall we?
yes. Again, it's you and me as we sail away to another place on another day. For out on the sea, all the plans we made will surely change. Our course will stray till we're swept away. So if these wayward winds against our backs are howling, let us look within for love, and with each breath of trust, give us some hope, the wanderlust, and light these ways ahead for us.
Should be easy now, we've been here before. We packed these bags, go on through the storm.
As much we let go, we'll hold on to more. It's you and me, each grab an oar and climb aboard. So if these wayward winds against our backs are howling, let us look within for love, and with each breath of trust, give us some hope, the wanderlust, and light these ways ahead for us. Within the unknown, when you're untamed, you can't be thrown. For every mile and every stone, it's you and me, you're not alone. You are my home. So if these wayward winds against our backs are howling, let us look within for love. With each breath of trust, give us some hope, the wanderlust, and light these ways ahead, for us. All right. Okay, this next song we're going to share You know, we are so grateful to be traveling all over the country and the world sharing this music. And we sometimes are on bimas, and sometimes we're on bluegrass festival stages and music venues with all different people of all different backgrounds in the audience. And we are proudly being Jewish through it all. And sometimes we sing in Hebrew and sometimes we don't, but it's always with this Jewish pride. And the latest album we came out with was called Songs for the Sparrows. And just as a reference, it came out on June 11th, 2021. June 10th, our baby came out. 10th was the baby, 11th was the album. Big week. And it was this album was inspired by a trip that Eric and I took with my mother and our older kids to Eastern Europe. My mom did all of this research, found all of these records of our family history, and we all flew to the town that my family was from. And it turns out I'm from Ukraine. And we visited this town, and then we visited the forest outside of this town where we believe that my ancestors were shot. And we experienced things that we've heard about in black and white and on pages, and you hear about it. You know, it hasn't been very long since the Holocaust, and going there and in real life was just a whole nother experience for us. And while we were there, we had posted on Facebook that we were there, and we started getting tons of emails from this cousin of Eric's, Ruvain, this like distant cousin who was obsessed with figuring out the family history of his side. And he starts writing, Eric, you're from the Carpathian Mountains, 6 hours south of where Donnie's from. You need to go there. So we turned the bus around and went to the Carpathian Mountains so we could see where Eric's family was from. And with the help of Ruvain, we actually found the cemetery where Eric's great-grandfather was buried. Of course, the cemetery had been completely destroyed, as did everything, hundreds of synagogues, everything, the people, the homes, the synagogue, everything of Jewish life was destroyed. It's like, so we took this trip, and we found the cemetery after hours of looking, and we spent hours actually trying to find a little piece of evidence of Eric's great-grandfather's grave. We tried a corner, maybe a little piece of stone. We found nothing. We couldn't find it, which was a bummer. Very sad. We really were hoping to, but we didn't. But something happened while we were searching, which is that at one point, Eric and I looked up at the sky. We all did, the whole family, and up in the sky above us were all of these little sparrows, these little sparrow birds just flying above us. And it felt like thousands of birds just right there. And it was weird. And it was memorable. And we got home from this trip, and 6 weeks later was the Tree of Life Squirrel Hill shooting. So it's like we were kind of processing this, thinking, well, this was the past, and it's different now, and now we're in America, but it was like, what is happening? And I don't need to tell you all of the anti-Semitism and hate that we're seeing in this country that I've never seen before in my life this way. And I'm not a politician. I'm not a rabbi. I don't understand this. I don't know what to say, but I know that music can heal sometimes. And so Eric and I wrote a song about this trip. When we started thinking about what to write, we just kept coming back to that moment. Remember that moment with the birds? With all of those sparrows? And we thought, what was that? What was that moment? And then Eric and I thought, well, what if those sparrows are our ancestors? And what if the sparrow is anyone in this world who's being discriminated against for just being themselves and hated for being born who they are? And so we've dedicated this whole album to the sparrows, our ancestors, and anyone who feels that they have been discriminated for just being themselves. And so this is our offering of love on a very hard and painful reality. And we love you, and we hope you enjoy a sparrow's song.
Oh, little bird, I hear your song. You've been overlooked for far too long. We've met before on the ancient road, and we share a tale and a pain, both new and old.
Da-da-dum, 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 dum. Da-da-dum, 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 da-dum. They say you're small, not worth a thing, but I know the truth, I've heard you sing. And face to face, I felt it too, when they see themselves and their hate, and they don't see you. And so we sing a sparrow song for those who are told they don't belong. A call of love for the days gone wrong. Don't fear, little bird, just fly, fly on. On ahead, but held back your tears while you abide by the hawks and crows, because you believe in the dream we all should have a home. And so we sing a sparrow song for those who are told they don't belong. A call of love for the days gone wrong. Don't fear, little bird, just fly, fly on. ציפור דרור מהדרך העתיקה, שם ליבי אל הלא נודע עם קולי. הצעיר נשמתי ניצרת, שירי הדרורים בימים.
I hear your song. You've been overlooked for far too long. We've met before on the ancient road, and we share a tale and a pain, both new and old. And so we sing a sparrow song for those who are told they don't belong. A call of love for the days gone wrong. Don't fear, little bird, just fly, fly on.
So I would love to call up Susan. Can I call you up for this one? Because we just want you up here with us for this next one. We are going to share with you our version of L'Ador Vador. And if there's anything that you have done, it's bringing so much joy and love and music that will be passed on for generations to come. I know it. I really do. We know it, right? Yes, you did. So let's get the choir up here for this next one.
There is a past in every portrait. There is a truth in every tale. And all the days that came before us, there is the wind upon our sails.
There is a forest in every father as he stands amidst the wild. There is a mountain in every mother, her sturdy force of heart and mind. L'Ador Vador Nagi Godlecha. The light in us shines on and on. L'Ador Vador Nagi Godlecha. Time may pass, but it's never gone. It's never gone. Sadness, and not a life without love. As we look back to the days that have passed us, we hold on to the lights above. There is a dream.
There is a dream
in all the daughters.
In all the daughters.
There is a song.
There is a song
in all the sons, and everyone's as pure as
is
water.
As pure as water and
has a home from which they ready. L'Ador Vador Nagi Godlecha. The light in us. The light in us shines on and on. L'Ador Vador Nagi Godlecha. For time may pass, but it's never gone.
Never gone.
The light in us shines on and on. L'Ador Vador Nagi Godlecha. Time may sing The Light in Us Shines On and On. Ready? The light in us shines on and on. The light in us shines on. The light in us shines on. The light in us shines on. Dawn and on. Dawn and on. Dawn and on. Dawn and on. And dawn and on.
All those Yom Kippur sermons when I was freezing up there, now it's probably the first time in my career where I have the pulpit. You're going to have to listen to me for a few minutes. Not something I'm very comfortable doing, but I'm just so happy to be here tonight. And I just want to start by looking around this room at all of these people that are here tonight. I see friends from my life, not from Temple, from everywhere that I've ever come to before here. And there are so many people that came here tonight that maybe sang in my choir maybe 10 years ago. If you sang in the choir 10 years ago, would you raise your hand? If you're in college and you're here, yeah, we have some kids who come back, and I'm so glad even. So I wanted to start with a few thank yous. First to Donnie and Eric, and to the extraordinarily talented Nefesh Mountain. We could just give them a round of applause. We are so grateful for your being with us tonight to celebrate this special night. And, of course, there's been a lot of love going around, but we love Nefesh Mountain. We love your music. We love you. So I want to send a shout out to our sound and our video crew. We've got Mike over here, Eric, who's been here for as long as I can remember. And of course, a little preemptive thank you to Sandy Carney. Here you are. For the beautiful and very sweet oneg that has a lot of surprises that you will share after the service. And of course, to the singers. To our TBA intergenerational choirs whose voices have filled this entire room tonight with so much joy and spirit, and who over many years have graciously adapted to my less than exemplary conducting methods. I am so delighted that you've come along with me on all of these musical adventures over the years. To Jamie Saltman, he's moved away from the keyboard, but a long, long time friend and partner on our worship team. Collaborating with you, Jamie, has been such an honor and privilege. I know that I speak for myself and for our whole worship team when I say that. I so appreciate how you have understood my philosophy of making music as an expression of prayer. I know that between us, something just clicks. There is an unspoken understanding of cadence and harmony that we share, and I've so valued our relationship, and I've grown tremendously as a music leader and a musician as a result. To the entire Temple staff, some of you are here tonight, our educators, many have been here as long as I have. I think we talked about it. You all make the magic happen at Beth Avodah, and I'm always in awe of your energy and your dedication. To Doug, I know I saw Amy somewhere, to Doug and to your crew, you have put up with me rearranging every room I walk into, knowing that I'll usually leave a trail of mementos of me behind wherever I've been. And I just want you to know I so appreciate you. and to my closest colleagues, to Heidi, Eileen, and Becky, I can't adequately express in words how dear each of you are to me. We have been together for close to 2 decades. And though I have endless words of gratitude for each of you, I just want to say now how each of you, individually and collectively, are my people. You have known me better than I know myself. You are truly a second family to me. And of course, my actual family, would you raise your hand if you're in my family group here? There's a lot of you here tonight. Especially to my dear Jim and Alana and Ben, who I know is going to be watching online from Vermont. You guys are my world. You are my best supporters. You've tolerated my incessant vocal exercises, my bubble blowing, my me in the shower. You have previewed every song I've ever introduced here way too many times. And you have been patient and gracious, always adding at least 30 minutes to any time I've ever told you I will ever be home. Most importantly, you have occupied those seats with the rest of our wonderful Bamel family for the holidays and special events, and I have known I could always look over at any of you for a warm smile. I love you all so much. And to my partner in worship, my holy collaborator, my teacher, my mentor, my trusted friend, and my rabbi, Rabbi Stern, our relationship has been long and blessed with a certain magic, with a special harmony that is ours alone and goes way beyond the bima. I will forever be grateful that you invited me to be on your team where I would learn my craft and grow to become part of this wonderful community. You know, I've often credited my mother Anita's spiritual meddling with guiding me here. Some of you know the story, but I'll summarize very short. Toward the end of her life, in her own way, she left a letter with instructions, or should I say wishes, for her funeral. And in the letter, she included a very apologetic request to me. Would I be able to play Debbie Friedman's 23rd Psalm at her memorial service? For this was a beautiful melody that had brought her so much solace during her long struggle with cancer. And though I had never, ever played it before, and I was feeling pretty low at the time, I said, of course. And as I shared in my podcast this fall, I could never have imagined how this simple musical offering at one of my lowest points in my life would introduce me to the synagogue of my childhood, into the long, blessed partnership I've had with Rabbi Stern and the relationship I've had with all of you. So a big thank you to my mom, Anita, for this heavenly intervention. My mom left behind her own musical legacy here at Temple as a longtime member of our Temple choir and the director of our youth choir. And I've tried to carry her spirit, her neshama, with me as I have walked her path. I continue to feel her presence and that of my father, Herb's, within the walls of this sacred space. As most of you know, the Bamel Music Fund was set up by my family in memory of my mother and has enabled musical programming to flourish here at Temple Beth Avodah for over 2 decades. Donations to the fund, a little plug, make events like this possible. So really what I want to share tonight, Shir l'Adonai, Shir Chadash, Shir l'Adonai kol ha'aretz, sing unto God, all the earth, a new song, from Psalm 96. These are the words from our favorite Kabbalat Shabbat melody by Julie Silver, and the phrase that I wear around my neck in this beautiful pendant that was given to me as a gift from my very dear friend Stephanie, who's here tonight. These are the words that have been my guiding light, my compass, as I have always viewed music as a framework, a context through which I have been able to touch people and carry them on my journey with me. For in singing together, whether it be a new song of praise or a piece from our collective memories, our souls have collided in relationship with one another, and we have created a Shir Chadash, a new song, with one another, and in Donnie's words, and with the universe. Together at TBA, we have built a legacy of music. We are a congregation that loves to sing, as you saw tonight, and participate in our worship experiences. We have built a large and spirited intergenerational choir, as you all saw tonight. Sorry, it's stuck. Hello. We have built a teen song leader program in our school, a middle school choir, a youth choir who loves to lead prayer with their voices and their motions, as you saw today. And we have trained a strong woman cohort of Torah readers, headed up by our president, Carol Rodenstein, who assist us at chanting Bereshit on Rosh Hashanah and who will volunteer to chant again whenever asked for a women's retreat or other times. And we have figured out how to sing and pray together online when we had to build a new kind of connection and spirituality during COVID years. I was always amazed at the large online attendance of so many TBA households, even when we were unable to sing together in person in one voice. I think that period brought a different kind of music, of love and compassion to everybody's heart. Shir Ladonai Shir Chadash. We are always creating a new song together. This is my legacy, but it's also yours. And as we just sang with Donnie and Eric, Lador Vador Nagid Godlecha, the light in us shines on and on. And though my journey started with a song in my heart and on my lips, I have come to truly understand that it's not the music alone that elevates our spirit. It's not the music alone that brings us solace and comfort in times of need, but it's when we join together as one community that we are truly raised. What I didn't know when I arrived with the guitar on my back many years ago and have learned in the many years I've spent with you is in this sacred space or classroom or hallway or hospital room over Zoom or even in the intimacy of your living room that we find a different kind of music when we truly see and hear one another. When we open our hearts to one another, this is when we make the most beautiful harmony of all. This is a legacy that I know will continue. So as I begin my next chapter, I will carry a song in my heart and around my neck as a reminder of everything you have taught me. Some of you know this, but publicly I'll announce tonight, in the fall, I will begin a clinical pastoral education program at Beth Israel Deaconess Hospital. And in this chaplaincy program, I hope to be able to bring my spiritual and pastoral care to those in need within a diverse population of a hospital setting. And in time, maybe add my voice, bringing songs of comfort and solace to those in crisis and in need. To the entire TBA congregation, my heart is overflowing with joy and gratitude and with a lot of anticipation as I stand before you tonight at this profound moment of transition for me and for you. I've treasured my years here. When I began this work so many years ago, I did not anticipate that I would have the privilege of walking into the lives of so many, sharing in your joys, in your many life cycle milestones, and in your struggles and difficult moments. I did not know I would be filled with your friendship, your voices, and your love. I have been blessed over and over and over. Amen.
Well, since we're standing, don't bother to sit down again. But if you will instead turn to page 282, 586.
Aleinu
Shabeach ladon hakol, lateku la liotzer breshit, shelo asana kagoye aratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol amonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. We take this moment to remember those who are not with us, whom death has taken in this season and in years past. Today, this afternoon, anyone who was around watching sports in the 70s and 80s, if you watched football, you knew this guy named Jim Brown, who was really, I think, and I am not a sports expert, but my sense is that in a way, Jim Brown was the first of a completely new breed of athlete in terms of his capacity, his capability, the way he could run was extraordinary. Like, watching him was like watching modern dance. What he was capable of doing was extraordinary. And after his career was over, he continued on with an active and impressive career in the civil rights movement. He wasn't such a great actor. He wanted to be an actor. He wasn't a great actor, but he was a great man. And we are blessed by what he did. And it reminds us, in a world where a lot of athletes tend to go for $1 and don't really care about the people around them, but just want to take advantage of every situation, Jim Brown, who could have done the same thing, stood up for something bigger and more important: the rights of his people, the rights of all people. We remember on this Shabbat evening the Shloshim for Erwin Kaplan and Roger Cohen, who've died in recent days and weeks. Tonight we also recognize this as the yahrzeit for David Altshuler, Robert Auld, Carl Bayless, Betsy Berkman Marcus, Raynard Braverman, Zoltan Silag, Charles Dumoulin, Arthur Epstein, Bertha Fishman, Bruce Franks, Herman Golub, Ruth Gordon, Jane Hart, Israel Hoberman, Amelie Cass, Frederick Lerner, Jay Levine, Esther Lipson, Joan Ann Menzer, Eliane Miller, Joan Naherney, Stacy Ono, Anna Parker, Kenneth Rosenzweig, Oscar Rubin, Harry Rubin, Ruth Saltman, Pearl Siegel, Charlotte Segal, Albert Shapiro, Philip Singer, Arthur Wasserman, Lillian Weiner, Justin Winthrop, Gertrude Willozin. The memories of all of them are with us as we turn to page 294, 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechal Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam v'yomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav huya asei shalom aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who brings peace to the heavens bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world. And together we all say, amen. If you would please be seated. Carol Rodenstein is our president with some words for this Shabbat evening. Susan, I think the mic over there, you can use that one.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I just want you guys to all know how well orchestrated this. Becky told me use this mic because it's the right height for you. What can I say? I follow directions well. So thank you all so much for coming. For those of you who are here, for those of you out there, we can't begin to tell you how much we appreciate it. Isn't it incredible to feel it? It's just incredible. Thank you, Nefesh Mountain, Donnie, Eric, and all of the musicians. Jamie, for leading us in such beautiful song. Thank you, Rabbi, for leading us in spiritual prayer, as always. And Susan, I don't have enough words. It is true, I will chant Torah anytime you ask. And thank you for being a friend and a beautiful inspiration for so many of us for so long. There are no regular announcements today. Open up your brochure. Everything you need to know is there. Look on the website. If you have any questions, ask Becky. Don't ask me. She'll tell what to do. I also want to say mazel tov to Charlie and the whole family. So exciting. So after services, there are a little sweets for the sweet. That's all of you. And I want a special thanks to Sandy Carney and to Eileen Brooks for all the work that it took to get this done. We really appreciate it, even before we eat. It was such a joy to be part of this intergenerational choir. The work and the energy and the love that everyone in the choir brought and Susan brought to us is something that it's just really special to be part of, so thank you. Susan, I know you're going to knock it out of the park with your new adventure. This one, whatever else you choose to do. And I'm going to invite Becky up here because we have a little more blessings for you tonight. Becky, that's the tall mic.
Susan, will you come sit over there so I can look at you? Thank you. This spring, we've been showering Susan with gifts, not because we think she needs more stuff, but because we are yearning for a physical representation of our appreciation for her gifts to us. We tapped into her creativity with beautiful jewelry from an Israeli artist. We gave her Shabbat candlesticks to highlight the warmth she shows when she leads us in prayer and song. Our students created a planter that included ELC handprints, notes of love from our elementary kids, including thanks for doing good cantoring, and a plant for her to garden to show their appreciation. But the truth is, no gift can come close to representing the immeasurable ways Susan has impacted this community. She has inspired a love of Jewish music in countless people, both kids and adults. Her belief that everyone can and should join in has set the tone for this congregation. She makes sure everyone has a voice and a place here, and she sees the uniqueness in each individual person and finds joy in cultivating their voices and their leadership. This isn't something I've just watched her do with all of you. It's something she has done with my own children. Earlier this year, she gave my son Eli one of her old guitars. While the guitar itself was an incredibly generous gift, the greater gift was the love of Jewish music she'd cultivated in him since birth, the time she took to show him the guitar and how to show appreciation for a gift, and the patience she shows all the time listening to every single idea and song and direction, he is my child, he wants to share with her. I'm sure many of you in this room can think of a moment such as this, where Susan has drawn out the best in you or the best in your child. Susan cares deeply about us, individually and collectively. She is the first person to pick up the phone and call when another staff member is in need, a trait that several years ago earned her the title of nicest staff member. Caring about other people is not something she does as part of her job description. It is who she is at her core. Susan's joy is infectious. Whether it's a late night at a URJ biennial conference, enjoying beautiful weather on her porch, or simply sharing a meal with her, Susan brings laughter and a smile wherever she goes. When we gathered a few weeks ago to honor Susan, there was not a person in that room who wasn't smiling, because that is how hearing stories about Susan makes you feel. A few months ago, a group of people got together to talk about how we would celebrate Susan. Rachel Fish shared the idea of giving a handwritten journal to her. Nothing fancy, just a beautiful journal with the opportunity for people to write notes in it. We could have typed it up, and I'm sure Eileen would have printed it beautifully, but there was something about it being handwritten and so deeply personal that spoke to us as the right path for Susan. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to write in the journal or submit your notes electronically for us to write on your behalf, it will be outside on the counter in the foyer for you to write in tonight. And at the end of the oneg, Susan will take it home and read all of your beautiful notes of gratitude. At countless B'nai Mitzvah and graduations, Susan has given blessing to us. Tonight, we get to bless her. Originally, I wanted to invite all of the staff up here. I think that might be dangerous, so I'm going to invite Heidi and Eileen to come join me up here. And Susan, would you come up here with us as well? So we're going to share just a few excerpts from the journal that we felt like were really beautiful and emblematic of what Susan brings to this congregation.
I need the carol mic. For the joy you have brought me and so many by uniting us in song, for the solace you have provided so gracefully in times of loss, for the community you have nourished and helped flourish, you have touched so many so deeply.
Your voice has lifted us, your warmth enveloped us, your energy inspired us. We feel so fortunate to have had you as a pillar of our spiritual life.
Your shining and effervescent gifts exude to those around you.
Now keep in mind, these are not our words, they're other people's, because this one's funny for me to read.
Although I would like credit for those words.
You have taught me so much about being Jewish, how to be a better person, the power of music, so many stories, how to be a Jewish adult, and so much more. I hope to someday have kids look up to me as much as I look up to you. That part I believe.
Thank you for your shining light so brightly and nourishing our souls with song.
You are more than a singer, you are sunshine, full of warmth and energy.
May you be safe, may you be free, may you find space to just be. King Yehi Ratzon, may you find your way back home. Heidi Eileen and I are going to stay up here, and I'm going to pass it on to Rabbi to
Thanks.
give some more blessing.
So as we are all overflowing, with thoughts and feelings, and for Charlie's family, we're almost done. So I just want everyone to know, I would like to say what a pleasure it's been working with this woman for over 17 years. There's something about Susan that is worth recognizing, and you'll notice in the next room, she is the most photogenic person who's ever lived. It's a creepy thing in a way.
I have a couple bad ones.
Oh, good. I'd like to see.
Probably like 3.
I mean, out of 300. Yeah. It's no matter what mood she's in, catching her off guard, doing a total candid shot, she has a kind of beautiful, radiant look about her. Really a beatific look. And I realized, how was this even possible? Really, how can someone so consistently look so good and shine so bright? But it makes sense, as you've heard about her, if you don't already know her, that she has such a deep neshama that radiates a kind of fundamentally authentic goodness that she kind of can't help it, right? She, like if you said, make a really angry, no, I'm sure, Alana, you could tell us about that. Jim, she does have an angry face. Luckily, we haven't seen that too much, and I think the world hasn't either. And so it is about that, most of all, her soul that we celebrate, and that she has been so willing to share that soul with us. Just unmitigated, unguarded, vulnerable, being herself, so that we might feel safe, so that we might be able to do what we need to do. There was a moment last September, it was during Rosh Hashanah when I was pretending I hadn't had 2 stents put in 2 days before. I was just pretending everything was great. Everything was fine. Like, what's the worst that could have happened? And everything was fine until we got to the prayer that includes the words, who shall live and who shall die? And in that moment, it registered to me that I was saying that prayer and that I was extraordinarily vulnerable. In that moment, Susan, who was standing next to me and who knows me so well, just took her hand and put it on mine. And that was the touch of her soul. And it gave me the strength to go on. And I would guess that for every single person who has had a moment of intimacy with Susan over something either very joyful or very sad, that you too had that moment where you were touched by her soul. And so before we do the Kiddush and the Motzi, I'm going to ask everyone to please rise. I've asked the maestro, Jamie Saltman, to play a melody that we do at the end of every single bar or bat mitzvah we have ever done for the past 17 years. Some of you, I hope, know it and will sing it with me. The words are, you might remember, may God bless you with all good. May God keep all evil from you. And may God fill your heart with wisdom and grace you with all truth. May God lift up. I know the words. God's merciful face and shine on you for all time. And may God grant you eternal peace. Those are the words. Some of you might know them. If you don't know the words, but you've heard the melody, just hum along. Let's make this an entire congregational blessing, a blessing that Susan has given to people that we love for so many years. I'm going to open the ark here. God bless you with all good. May God keep all evil from you. And may God fill your heart with wisdom and grace you with all truth. May God lift up God's merciful face and shine on you for all time. And may God grant you eternal peace. May God grant you peace. May God grant you eternal peace. And now we continue. No, I'm just kidding. And what I'd like to do is invite Charlie and your parents, your sister, if she's still awake. I'd like to invite your grandparents also over here where the candles are for the Kiddush and the Motzi. All right, Jillian, she's awake. She's not going to sleep. I like your hair. Very cool. Thank you. I like your hair too. Oh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho Be'ahava uvratzon inchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit Kihu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta Mikol Hamim V'Shabbat Kodshecha B'Ahava U'V'Ratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim, l'chaim.
Invite the choir up for our closing song. Just come on up. If you've ever sung with us and you want to come up, kids, come up too.
Small, little. Okay, there we go. It's a good cab, yeah. There. And now, I'd like, Jillian, do me a favor. Would you please take this challah cover off? There we go. Very good. And, Charlie, would you please pick up that challah? Okay, thank you. And, if you would, I happen to know that you know the blessing, you learned it down in the basement and the Early Learning Center. And so would you please lead us, along with your sister, would you know the blessing too, would you lead us together in the Motzi? 1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Put her there.
Nefesh Mountain, everybody.
Oseh shalom b'mrama יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל כל ישראל וימנו. שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל כל ישראל וימנו. אמן. Gloria Mandolin. שלום עלינו, עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ועל כל ישראל וימנו. אמן.
Nefesh Mountain, thank you. Thank you, everybody. We are in the social